My name is Michael Fayehun. I'm a Toronto-based photographer. I shoot portraits and weddings all year round, both in the studio and on location. I'm a silent observer. It's so important for me to capture candid, intimate moments of the couple without drawing attention to myself or getting in the way. The ability to shoot silently ensures that I can do that. Every amazing couple is open to enjoy their perfect day. My job is to capture those moments for them to always cherish. With the Nikon Z6 II having 2 card slots, I can be rest assured that every photo is backed up. I'm always looking for creative angles, and the tilting screen lets me shoot high or low while still keeping my subject perfectly in sight. As the day turns to night, the Nikon Z6 II is so ready. Not only does the full-frame sensor provide some amazing low-light image quality, but it can accurately focus in much lower light levels than ever before. The emotions of a wedding day play around with your perception of time. It speeds up and slows down. For my job, I need to capture these moments of excitement and love in seconds. The Nikon Z6 II checks all the boxes to ensure I make that happen. Hi everyone, my name is Michael Fayehun. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Uh, Today I'm going to be talking about wedding photography, capturing stories, and creating meaningful images. Um, Before we go ahead, I would start with how I got started in photography. I started as a sports photographer, and it was actually an accident. What happened was I do play soccer at a pretty high level, and in back in 2013, I had an unfortunate incident, which was me breaking my leg while playing soccer, and I couldn't play the game that I loved, and I just wanted to find a way to kind of stay in the game and just get involved, right? So I got a camera and I started taking photos of sports, my teammates, and other teams that play in my league. And eventually, at some point, I got hired by my league to take some photos. And that led to some portrait work, and it led to events, and then eventually led to me shooting a wedding. And I guess the rest is history. Um, so I'm here today to talk about wedding photography, capturing stories, and creating meaningful images. I'll be talking about how I approach the wedding day and some part of the engagement session, which usually occurs prior to the actual wedding itself. Um, Before I go ahead with that, I would talk briefly about the tools that I use to take photos, which helps me create these images. I have the Z6 body, 2 of them, because I shoot prime, so I'm always on a wide angle lens and as well as telephoto lens. I have a D4S and as well as a D4. Those are my backups in case I need to use a backup. In terms of lenses, I have my 35, 50, 85. Mostly I'm always on my 35 and my 85 mil. 35 to tell stories and 85 more for portraits. I rarely use the 51.8. It's more, again, like a backup for me. The 105 is what I use on the wedding day to document the details, rings, shoes, bouquet, if I really need to get really close and get those detailed shots. I also have a 16 to 35 lens, which allows me to create some environmental portraits, super wide, just to kind of tell the story of where we're shooting with the couple, and incorporate some kind of architecture in my photos. I also have the 24 to 70 and the 70 to 200 2.8 for they're very flexible lenses, and sometimes in ceremonies, I can't get as close as I would love to because of restrictions. So I would take off my 85 and just go on my 70-200 and use that long lens to capture the moments from a distance as close as I can, and sometimes I can be far. So at 200, I can really get close to what's going on at that time. So next, I am going to talk about the actual day. Um, so a few things to creating meaningful images for clients. This is my approach, and here is just a few points that I always try to make sure that I cover for every couple clients that I work with. First thing is it's always very key to know your subject and connect with them. You know, we're, what we do, we're taking photos of people, and um, it's sometimes very vulnerable for people to be in front of someone's camera, and mostly I don't know them, and they just hire me as a photographer, and I think it's important for me to connect with them so they can, loosen up a little bit and just be themselves right in front of my camera. Um, just to be able to, tell the story a little bit better, they're more comfortable and they can just be themselves basically. Also is being present. And when I mean being present, it's not necessarily just being physically there. Obviously you're there, but as well, very importantly, to be mentally present for the couple, and look at what they're doing, listen to what they're saying. And I always tell my couples that you know I treat them as humans first, and then we're telling the story based on our the comfort level and just making them feel comfortable in front of the camera. Um, I think our job as wedding photographers is basically to tell the story. And, telling the story involves two things basically for me. It's all about, capturing the moment. And, sometimes that doesn't always happen. And sometimes you have to create the moment. And when I mean it's not always about staging photos, it's more like to get I'll put it this way: to get a group photo, you need a couple of things to come into play. You need the good light, you need to compose properly, and you obviously need to have a moment, right? And sometimes it's not about interrupting the moment; it's more like you can anticipate a moment and basically just tell them what you want them to do. I would actually give a few examples in the next slides that I have here. And lastly is providing a great experience. And I think it's very important to not just focus on the actual photos or videos that you're providing to your clients. It I think it goes way more than that, and being able to connect with them, being able to treat them right, like you want to be treated, to be able to just connect properly with them, gives them a very different and very good experience as opposed to just showing up and acting like I am just here to take some photos. It doesn't always. In my own case, I don't find that helps create genuine moments. It doesn't allow them to be themselves, and I always want my couples, my clients, their families, their friends to be themselves. And the best way I find is just being friendly with them and being just like their friends, because I don't the last thing I want them is to be aware of the camera. I just want them to be them, and that's the best way for me to be able to capture those moments on the wedding day. I'll start off with the engagement session. The way I approach the engagement session is obviously to kind of capture the excitement around the engagement and the upcoming wedding. They're just engaged, they're in love, they're happy, and it's what I want to show in the images, right? And It's also a good opportunity to meet the couple for the first time. Some couples, I do meet them during consultation in person, but these days we have the pandemic going on and everything's basically virtual, Zoom, Skype, FaceTime sometimes to meet the couple. And the engagement session is basically a time to meet them, to kind of just get to know them, get some great photos with them, and also to prepare for the wedding day, because there's always going to be that time to do the portrait session, right? So they know exactly what to expect. I work with real couples. I do not work with models, so I know it can be stressful, knowing how to get in front of the camera. And I my job, I think, is also to direct them, not necessarily pose. We say posing a lot, but I like to think about it like I'm just basically directing them what the best angle it is for them to stand, and stuff like that. And regarding the session, I'm always looking to make it relaxed and as fun as possible, because that's the only way you can get them excited and just being themselves, really. um One of the first things that I do when I get to a scene is I actually get to a scene about 30 minutes to an hour before the session, just to kind of look around and see what the environment is like. And it's very important for me in my photos to have a clean composition, right? Like I said earlier, it's all about the lighting, the composition, and the moment, right? So um, composition is huge for me, because you want to be able to tell the story that you want your viewer or the person looking at the photos to see. And if you have things that shouldn't be part of the story, things hanging around, or garbage being around, it just it draws the viewer's attention away from the actual photo itself. So um, looking around the scene and being able to see more than what we're looking at. In this case, it was a scene where this wasn't actually planned. I arrived at the session. I was just walking around and I saw something on the wall. This is actually um, an RV. I saw this written on the wall. It's an RV for the I think it's for the media students at the college. And I just saw the note on the RV, and I thought this would be a great compliment to just having a couple there, just being happy with each other, talking about there's a story to be told here. So I just found that interesting, and I incorporated it in my shoot. Um, this was as a result of me just being aware of my surroundings, and looking for shapes and architecture around me. This is downtown, very busy street, lots of people walking around. This was actually shot with me standing close to the road, and with cars just passing by. But I was able to find a clean composition to kind of take the shot at a very high angle and just have the couple in there. Um, always looking at interesting shapes. I was walking around this building during this session, and I just looked down, saw this interesting spiral down the staircase, and I was able to convince the couple to lay on the ground to make an interesting photo with them being just love at each other. Um, this is downtown. It's the Toronto Island. The couple wanted a shot of the city skyline, and we decided to go over there. Again, it's a busy summer month, and with a lot of people passing by. So I was able to accomplish this photo using a longer lens. We're actually very far from the CN Tower and the city. but being able to use a longer lens, it would help, compress the background and just make it appear like the closer to the background. Always looking for interesting building structures as well. Place the couple in the right place with the building kind of complementing them, and we made the shot. This is a very busy downtown area as well in the summer. This is, I believe, where the Christmas market is. Lots of traffic. Just basically found a very tight space to put a couple in there. When I'm shooting in very busy areas, I try to go as long as possible so I can isolate my subject where I want them to be, avoid lots of distractions, and just keep the shot as clean as possible, just to be able to tell the story and just include just only what I want in the shot, which is just a couple just being happy with themselves. Um, so that's it about the engagement session. So moving on to the actual wedding day itself. So I think that the goal of a wedding photographer is to tell a story. And like I mentioned this already, it's all about capturing the moment, obviously. And sometimes you have to create a moment. And like I said, it's not about staging, real moments, obviously, but it's all about being able to anticipate real moments. Like I would note here, um, this is an actual real moment of a bride and the dad walking the bride down the aisle and the guest looking at them. This is a case where I was able to create this moment because it can be as simple as, there's a first look. You being able to tell how or where the first look is going to take place, right? This is done at the house in Toronto, and I decided that the first look would just be right in the middle of the staircase, and just to get this moment before the actual look, to show the moment leading up to, because sometimes I like to capture the actual moment where the bride touches the groom on the side, but sometimes the moment before or the right after reaction is always a very good moment to capture as well. Um, Wedding photography, I think, is one of the toughest genre of photography out there, because on the day of the wedding, we're basically doing a lot of things. We're wearing so many hats in the day. In the morning, we're doing detailed shots of the rings. So we're actually product photographers for that, brief moment. We're doing photos of the dress as well, finding interesting, clean compositions to be able to document the dress as well. Same here, dress, shoes, product photography. And then we do some portraits as well. So we kind of switch into fashion portrait photographers for some part of the day as well. We're doing some photos of reception venues. So it's all about the architecture and the design of the room. And then for most of the day, we're documentary photographers, kind of showing what's happening the entire day. Like here, the bride's walking down the aisle, being emotional, getting married on that day, and in tears, tears of joy, getting married. It could be the reception where the bride's father's making the speech. She's reacting and trying to wipe off the tears from her face as he's talking. So, a brief summary of how I approached the wedding day. Again, just having in mind, telling the story and just capturing those moments that happen in the day. So, the day usually starts with the bridal prep. So the story could be, like here, the bride's making a note to show appreciation to, it could be a member of the family or someone just writing a note. So Here, speaking of composition, it was pretty. I had a lot of distract. If I did take the shot, just on the normal eye level, so I decided to go high, and with the help of my mirrorless, I could see my exposure before taking the shot. I could obviously use the flip screen as well to view a angle that the high won't normally see, right? So no one's going to really look this high down, except I tell the story with my camera to be able to show something different, right? Could be just moments before she walks down the aisle, just checking herself out and just being happy. It's a happy day, right? It could also be the bride and the girls just having fun and just celebrating the day. Could be on the groom side, the best man and the groom just having fun and talking about memories. Maybe growing up. In this case, they were just joking about different stories. So I was able to capture that moment between the bride and groom, between the best man and the groom. And I think it's also very important that I don't always solely focus on the bride or the groom the entire day. The friends, the family members that are there for them on that day, and I think it's very important for me to capture those people as well, just being there for them on that day. Could be the bride's mom helping the bride with her dress, and everyone's just being happy. As you can see here, it's a pretty clean background. Your eye is pretty drawn to the bride's smile, the mom helping the bride out, right? So everything plays out here in terms of lighting, the composition, and the moment. It could be a beautiful moment with the bride and the mom as well here. And the mom was actually helping out the bride here with a dress, and I was just trying to document that, and then she made this scene and just a joyful noise, and they just had this beautiful moment together. It could also be the moment the bride stepping out of the house, the mom holding her up to walk down the aisle. I always like to create different views from what everyone in the wedding would see, right? This is I decided to stay here for this moment of her walking down the aisle just to grab something different, and it could also be the moment where she's walking down the aisle, just grabbing those family members and friends, just anticipating the moment or where she's walking down the aisle. As you can see here as well, it's the bride and the bride's dad just walking down the aisle, just a different angle here as well. Same as like I said earlier, the moment where the bride's walking down, she's emotional. Just with story here is the groom is just looking at her walking down the aisle, and she can't hold back her tears right there. Could also be the groom being emotional, just looking at the bride that walked down the aisle. It could also be in the vows. This is during the vows, him reading the vows to his wife and getting emotional and just shedding some tears of joy here. And this is actually the ceremony. It's an actual real moment. This was not staged. I initially found this composition with the structure and the cross over there, and thought that would make a very good composition for the first kiss. And I was ready for that moment. The officiant announced you may kiss the bride. He went out of the way, and I was able to grab this beautiful moment of the bride and the groom. It could be of a big sports fan. This you can if you're a sports fan, you can tell this is some gesture when your team scores a goal. And I know he's a huge sports fan, and this is a moment where just showing, yes, I got the woman of my dreams and stuff like that. So it's always beautiful to capture those moments that are meaningful to the couple. Then we go onto the portrait side of things, where sometimes I try to show the architecture and the scene of where I'm taking photos at. This is a church for the wedding day, and I decided to place the couple right in a clean frame right there and just show the colors and the sign over there. It could be a couple here getting married at the mansion in Niagara Falls. Wanted to create a photo of them, just have that venue as an element in the photo, and them just being really happy with themselves over there and in love. Um, uh, this is a recent wedding. The couple are actually moving out of Toronto to a different province and wanted to create an image of the city because they're going to miss the city a lot. And this was on the beach with the view of the Toronto CN Tower. Uh, Extremely busy on that day, but I was able to create this image with my 300 f4 lens, and it kind of compresses the scene to make the CN Tower really appear really closer than it actually is. And it could be a super fun couple. Bride wanted to go in the water to get some photos, and I was like, hey, why not just do something fun in the water, right? So and I did take this at a pretty low angle just to show their height that they're jumping and just being happy with themselves. So yeah, it could be a reception venue with a huge chandelier light over there, just trying to show the scene as well with the couple in the shot. And it could be sometimes we grab the couples right during the reception, just right about the end of the of the day. Found this very interesting, colorful wall, and the water below just being lit with a different color from the wall, and I thought would make a really nice composition and showing different colors over there. And then we go into the reception where it's all about the moment. There's a first dance moment that happens, and the reception is basically filled with moments. Not much of a posed scenario goes on in the reception. So, first dance moment here with the bride and the groom. Here we have the bride and the dad just doing the dance and just having a gesture going on. Um, the reception is filled with laughter, with tears, and here you can see the this is the bride's brother making a joke, and the bride and the groom reacting to that. Beautiful moment there. Like I said, it could be some tears as well, with the bride reacting to the mom making a speech. Again, same like I said, the bride reacting to the groom's, the bride's father making a speech as well. And there's some really fun, cool moments that I actually always look forward to in the reception, and one of them is the bouquet toss, and it's great to be prepared for this kind of moment. Here, I decided to use off-camera flash to kind of show the bride the reaction of those trying to catch the bouquet, and just a little bit of the cake, just to just have something that complements the shot a little bit, and then obviously the reaction of the person that caught the bouquet. It's nice that the people in the back with the phones recording the moment, the bride on the right side of the frame just being reacting to what just happened right now. It could also be a scene where the little girl stole the show by, somehow catching the bouquet, and everyone's reacting like, "Oh, what just happened right here?" And yeah. So, summary of what I have just spoken about is obviously to get to know your subject. In weddings, mostly the couple, and connecting with them just to make them feel at ease with you, taking photos of them, so they're not always conscious of the camera. And for me, on the wedding day, usually I don't always start with, you know, walking in with my camera. My camera is always tucked out. Walking the room, just say hi to everyone and just get comfortable with people. And that, I think, goes a long way in telling real stories that would allow people not to be aware of the camera because they've seen you, they've talked to you, and they're not necessarily, or you have your camera up and they're like, okay, he's taking a photo now, right? So everyone goes on their day without them just being too aware, just because I've kind of made myself comfortable around everyone and just had a brief conversation with them. Being present, obviously, not just physically, but mentally, very, very important. And being present mentally it could be you being able to anticipate a moment, right? Being able to anticipate real moments that would happen on the day, right? So it's not just being there. And I always say, if I can see a moment happen with my eye, I think I've missed it, right? So that's something that stick with me every time I shoot a wedding. I try to be ready, camera always off, and not be reactive. And when you're reactive to moments, you don't get them. And when I see them with my eye, the time I bring my camera up, the moment is gone. And um, being able to anticipate would allow you to capture all of those moments before they actually happen, right? Um, Telling the story, by just capturing the moment and sometimes creating the moment. Capturing the moment is basically 95% of it. And creating the moment is, like I said, not changing or stopping real moments, but, anticipating moments like first look, where's the best place to create these images. You're creating the moment because you're kind of helping create the scene and how it's going to go, right? And when I try to create moment, it's mostly me thinking ahead and saying, if this moment happens here, then I don't make a great photo because either the light is bad, where the action is going to be, the composition wouldn't be great because there's a lot of distraction, or the moment will be ruined by bad light or bad composition, right? So, and lastly, providing a great experience. I think this is one of the most important things to me, even more than the actual photos that I take, because I think a bad experience with great photos is not what I want to give, because a bad experience will ruin the actual product for clients, right? So you want to have them have a great experience, and you obviously they would appreciate the photos a little bit more if you treat them right, and you're nice to them and you're great to them, right? So yeah, that's pretty much my approach to a wedding day and creating meaningful images that tell a story. Thank you so much for watching the video and listening to my presentation. You can see more of my work on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at F10 Studio, and my website is F10 Studio.